This is not science fiction. This is not an internet rumor. This is not a wild conspiracy theory. This is a real concern inside NASA. Something on Mars is behaving in a way that should not be possible. And the deeper scientists analyze the data, the stranger the planet becomes. For decades, Mars was labeled a dead world. Cold, dry, silent, a planet that lost its atmosphere billions of years ago. A place where nothing significant should still be happening. That belief shaped everything we thought we knew. Until something unexpected appeared, a gas, invisible, elusive, and deeply unsettling, methane. At first, the signal was weak, almost insignificant, just tiny traces floating in the thin Martian atmosphere. Easy to ignore, easy to dismiss as instrument noise. But then it happened again, and again, and again, sudden spikes, sharp increases that appeared without warning. And then, they vanished. This is where the mystery begins. On Earth, methane is stable. It can remain in the atmosphere for many years. Sunlight breaks it down slowly. Chemical reactions take time. But on Mars, methane disappears far too fast. Sometimes within months, sometimes within weeks, in some cases almost immediately. According to everything we know about chemistry, that should not happen. Ultraviolet radiation from the sun is too weak to destroy methane that quickly. The Martian atmosphere is too thin to support fast reactions. Dust storms do not explain it, yet the methane is gone, as if Mars itself is actively removing it, or hiding it. The first clear evidence came from a machine that was never meant to uncover a planetary mystery. A rover, slowly crawling across an ancient crater. Its name was Curiosity. When Curiosity landed on Mars, its mission was straightforward. Study rocks, analyze soil, search for signs that Mars could have supported life in the distant past. No one expected it to challenge our understanding of the planet today. But during routine atmospheric measurements, Curiosity detected something unusual. Methane. Not just once, but repeatedly. The readings showed sudden increases far above background levels. Then, without explanation, the methane dropped back down, as if it had never been there. Scientists immediately questioned the data. They checked the sensors. They recalibrated the instruments. They searched for contamination from Earth. Nothing. The measurements were solid. The methane was real, and it kept returning, season after season, year after year. Each time, the same pattern. A burst, a peak, then silence. This behavior alone was alarming. But there was another detail that made scientists deeply uncomfortable. The methane spikes followed the seasons. They were strongest during warmer periods, when temperatures rose just enough to affect the surface, and possibly the underground. That detail changed everything, because methane does not simply appear. It must be produced. On Earth, methane comes from two main sources: geological processes and biological activity. Geological methane is created when water interacts with certain rocks under heat and pressure. Biological methane is produced by life. Microorganisms, simple life forms that release methane as a byproduct. On our planet, most methane is biological in origin. That fact cannot be ignored. If Mars is producing methane today, something must be generating it right now. Not in the ancient past, not billions of years ago, but in the present. NASA is extremely cautious with language. They do not jump to conclusions. They do not announce discoveries without overwhelming evidence. They avoid the word life whenever possible. But they have openly admitted one critical fact. No existing chemical model explains what is happening on Mars. Not a single one. Some researchers believe methane could be trapped underground, locked inside icy structures beneath the surface. As temperatures rise, these structures could break apart, releasing methane into the atmosphere in short bursts. At first, this explanation sounds reasonable. Until scientists test it, even if methane were released this way, it should still remain in the atmosphere for much longer. It should not disappear so quickly. Which means something else must be destroying it. And no one knows what that something is. Other scientists suggest reactions between methane and the Martian soil. Perhaps the surface contains unknown oxidizing compounds. Perhaps the dust itself is chemically aggressive. But laboratory experiments do not support this idea. The reaction rates are too slow. The chemistry does not match the observations. Every proposed explanation fails under scrutiny. And with every new dataset, the mystery grows deeper. Then came another complication. Satellites orbiting Mars attempted to detect methane from space. Some instruments detected it, others saw nothing. At times, methane appeared concentrated in specific regions. At other times, it was completely absent. This inconsistency made the situation even more disturbing. because it suggested methane was not evenly distributed. It was appearing in localized plumes, short-lived releases tied to specific locations. That implies a source, something underground, something active, something capable of turning on and off. NASA realized this mystery could not be ignored, so when a new rover was designed, the methane question followed it. When Perseverance landed on Mars, its mission focused on ancient life. But the present-day mystery remained. Because if Mars is producing methane now, then Mars is not fully dormant. There is another unsettling possibility. What if methane is not only being destroyed, but also temporarily trapped? Some scientists believe Mars may have an unknown atmospheric process, one that captures methane near the surface, or absorbs it into the soil, or breaks it apart through electrochemical reactions triggered by dust storms. But once again, there is no direct evidence, only hypotheses, only unanswered questions. Every explanation opens the door to new mysteries, and there is one final detail that keeps scientists awake at night. Methane is fragile. If it is detected at all, it means the source is recent. Extremely recent, something must be producing it continuously. Otherwise, it would not be there. So what is it? Active geology? Subsurface water reacting with minerals? Chemical processes never observed before? Or something more extraordinary? Something we are not prepared to name? NASA does not speculate publicly. But behind closed doors, scientists agree on one thing. Mars is not behaving like a dead planet. It is behaving like a system. Dynamic, changing, reacting, and methane is the clue we cannot ignore. Because whatever is creating it, or destroying it, is active today, right now, and that means Mars may still be evolving, still changing, still hiding secrets beneath its surface. Secrets that could redefine everything we know about life in the universe. The methane mystery on Mars refuses to stay quiet. In fact, the more scientists try to explain it, the louder the silence becomes. Because every new hypothesis creates a new problem, and every new dataset removes one more simple explanation. One of the most troubling aspects is location. Methane does not appear everywhere. It shows up in specific regions, specific craters, specific geological formations. That detail alone changes the entire conversation. Because random chemical noise does not behave that way. But sources do, and sources imply activity. Some of the strongest methane signals were detected near ancient fracture zones. Places where the Martian crust was once under stress. Places where the planet cracked. And where pathways to the underground may still exist. This led to a disturbing idea. What if Mars is not geologically dead? What if it is only quiet on the surface? On Earth, methane can be produced when water interacts with certain rocks deep underground. A process called serpentinization. It does not require life. Only heat, pressure, and the right minerals. Mars once had all three, and some scientists believe it still might. Deep below the frozen surface, where temperatures are higher, where water could remain liquid, where chemical reactions could still be happening today. If that is true, then Mars is not static. It is active, slow, hidden, but active. However, even this explanation collapses under closer inspection. Because serpentinization produces methane continuously, not in short, sharp bursts, not in seasonal spikes, and it still does not explain why methane disappears so fast once it reaches the atmosphere. So the question returns, what is destroying it? This is where the mystery becomes even darker. Some researchers have proposed that Mars may have a completely unknown atmospheric chemistry. One that does not exist on Earth. A chemistry driven by extreme dryness, by fine dust particles, by electrostatic charges created during dust storms. On Mars, dust storms can cover the entire planet. They generate massive electrical fields. Fields strong enough to trigger reactions we have never observed before. Could these reactions be breaking methane apart? Possibly, but again, no direct evidence exists. Every attempt to recreate this process in laboratories on Earth has failed. Mars refuses to cooperate with our expectations. Then there is the most uncomfortable hypothesis of all. The one scientists discuss quietly, carefully, behind closed doors. On Earth, the strongest natural methane spikes often come from biology. From microbial life living underground, life that never sees sunlight, life that survives on chemical energy alone. These organisms exist in extreme environments. Deep oceans, frozen tundras, volcanic rock, places once thought uninhabitable. Mars, in its ancient past, looked surprisingly similar to early Earth. It had rivers, lakes, possibly oceans, if life ever emerged back then. Could it have adapted? Could it have retreated underground as the planet dried out? Could it still exist today? NASA never claims this, but they do not rule it out. Because methane does not lie. It demands a source, and biology remains one of the few processes capable of producing methane in short, intense bursts. Then stopping, then starting again. But even if life were responsible, that still leaves the second half of the mystery. Why does the methane vanish so quickly? Some scientists believe the answer may be on the surface itself. Mars' soil is strange, highly oxidizing, aggressive, filled with compounds that break down organic material. Perhaps when methane touches the ground, it is destroyed instantly. Perhaps the surface acts like a chemical sponge, absorbing and annihilating methane before it can spread. If that is true, then Mars is not just hiding its secrets. It is actively erasing them, and that makes detection incredibly difficult. Which brings us to the next critical point: sampling. Despite years of study, we have never directly captured a methane plume at its source. Every measurement has been indirect, delayed, fragmented, like trying to understand a crime long after it happened. This is why perseverance is so important. It is not just a rover. It is a collector, a witness. It is drilling into ancient rocks, sealing samples, preparing them to be returned to Earth. For the first time, scientists will be able to study Martian material in laboratories far more advanced than anything we can send to Mars. These samples may contain chemical fingerprints, isotopic ratios, tiny clues that reveal how methane was formed. Geological signatures look different from biological ones. Life leaves patterns, subtle, but recognizable. If those patterns are found, it would be one of the most profound discoveries in human history. But there is a risk. Methane is fleeting. If we wait too long, if we miss the moment, the evidence could vanish forever. Mars is teaching us a hard lesson. The universe does not reveal its secrets easily. It whispers, it hints, it tests our patience, and right now, Mars is whispering something unsettling. It is telling us that our models are incomplete, that our assumptions are fragile, that a planet we labeled as dead may still be alive in ways we do not understand. This is why NASA is worried, not because they have found aliens, but because they have found uncertainty. And uncertainty is dangerous in science, because it means we do not yet know the rules. The methane mystery forces a question larger than Mars itself. If we cannot explain methane on a nearby planet, how confident are we about distant worlds, about exoplanets, about atmospheric signatures light years away? Methane is considered a key biosignature, a possible indicator of life. If Mars can produce methane without life, or destroy it without explanation, then our search for life in the universe becomes far more complicated. Mars is not just a mystery. It is a warning, a reminder that nature is more creative than our theories, and more patient than our timelines. Right now, somewhere beneath the surface of Mars, something is happening. It may be chemical, it may be geological, it may be something entirely new, but it is real, and it is ongoing. Every time methane appears, Mars is sending a signal, a brief message, then silence, and until we understand that message, Mars will remain one of the most unsettling places in the solar system. Not because we know what is there, but because we do not. The red planet is no longer just a relic of the past. It is an active mystery, and methane is the clue that refuses to disappear.